right, hello, hello, hello. Looks like you guys can hear me. Oop, I don't know what the heck that was. So I'm running a little bit late today. Kip was up like super early, so I've had Kip since I don't know 5, something like that. I don't know. So I had to make sure that we had coffee to survive, um, just to make it through. So thank you, Noor. I appreciate that. Um, I know. Well, I mean, I can. I have the button. I have the button. I can send it back. Don't tease that. That's actually the crazy thing is, Nero, that's actually an option, right? It's so weird, right? But that's actually an option. I think it's crazy. But yeah, there's AM, there's FM, and then there's a bunch of other ones. Yeah, so it's pretty funny. All right, let's dive in. Hopefully, I can make it through. Obviously, seeing yen weakness today. Yesterday, we kind of saw it in the other direction. Today, it's kind of massive amounts of yen weakness. So we're seeing the dollar yen and pound yen both up 180-ish. So again, large days. We are seeing the dollar CAD straight down in the last 24 hours, 51, and you can see it's justified by the common and the median CPI. The overall, just general, came in as expected. So again, what's interesting about this one is just the general one is normally the one that's a little bit kind of crazier, but that's the one that has autos and food in. And when you take that out, magically, you're like, oh, nope, still much higher. So showing that there was the kind of expansion of, inflation. Oh, excuse me. I'm already starting it. Lovely. Sorry. It's because now I'm talking. I'm like, oh, God, not enough oxygen. We do have 9:30 tonight, though. We do have our wage index, again, kind of like the equivalent to our average hourly earnings. And then we have a rate change for New Zealand tonight. So kind of open wide day as far as other news releases and what could happen. But, obviously a lot more in the next 12 hours as we kind of see this. And again, we don't typically cover New Zealand, but obviously it's traded the same exact way. It's expected to be a jump. So that's one of those things you got to watch out for. Tomorrow morning early, though, there is some crazy data. And you can see right here, UK economists see growing recession risk with jump in inflation. So they're already talking about the jump of inflation. Oh, look at this. It's only 9.8 now. Yesterday it was 9.9. So they're pulling it back just a little bit, right? But the CPI year over year, it's still continuing to grow. Retail sales, this is kind of where we start to see what the economy is looking like. And again, it's kind of one of the... Oh, I was going to sneeze. Hold on. Oh, I almost sneezed there. Ooh, that was crazy. Whew, get that one in. Retail sales is just another one of the pieces in the puzzle as far as what the Fed is going to do next. And again, like I said, I don't know what they're going to do next, but I do know that, again, retail sales expected to be negative. If these two come in strong for some reason, again, that's all the Fed needs to be like, yep, see, that's exactly why we need to continue raising interest rates, right? So, yeah. It still exists. We'll see. And that's 8:30 tomorrow morning, followed by FOMC. So, a lot in the next 24 hours as far as big releases go. And then again, the last 24 hours, really the only thing, I guess the dollar Swiss moving up is, that's decent. But again, euro pound, 18 is nothing. 11 is nothing. 52, again, with the new data we had, a lot of that was already packaged in. And then obviously, 35 and 51, not really much. And you can see it's retracing in the last 60 minutes. You can see it's solid red for 24, but in the last 60, it's really retracing back again. So it's losing a lot of its momentum. And then obviously the yen, and we know what's going on with the yen. Look, U.S. wants to drag out the conflict in the Ukraine. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where he's standing on this one. Has tried to pour oil on the fire in other regions around the world as it's happening in Taiwan. Yeah, he's bringing up the Taiwan thing. And trust me, I'm sure that China and Russia have obviously talked and ran through scenarios, but not a surprise, not a surprise. And again, I don't know if it's not necessarily they want to drag it out in the Ukraine, but again, not surprised that Putin is making a comment about Taiwan. We talked about it yesterday. Now the big question is if China does decide to do that. Again, I guess militarily they said they would go into Taiwan to help them or defend them. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. That could be, again, going in and protecting, sending in peace forces into the Ukraine, protecting another nation is one thing. Unfortunately, again, because it is not recognized, if we actually sent forces in, I think that could be considered a direct attack on China. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those ones. It's like, I don't know. I think they're waiting for, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, Russia cannot send troops to U.S. soil if we decide to, send the National Guard after vigilantes, right? So doesn't work that way, right? Domestic terrorists cannot be protected. You cannot send troops. So not exactly sure what the game plan is there, but again, that's probably why we're seeing it. Besides that, really not much out there. Again, Federal Reserve announces final guidelines to establish transparency. Yep, got it. And this is kind of funny. I like this too when they talk about this about, look, these are guidelines about transparency and risk-based. We're going to be consistent. We're going to use this. Really, at the end of the day, I mean, it's really going to be who's pulling the strings and whose opinions matter. It's nice to say that we're going to be more transparent in what we do. Yeah, you can be more transparent, but that just means you're going to tell us sooner than waiting until the actual news release, and you kind of give us a guideline. But by them saying it, anytime that they take action, people will still try to guess it ahead of time, right? So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, we appreciate the transparency. It's nice to know what you're thinking, but again, until when you're like, hey, we're going to tell you at X day, all they're doing is just changing when the actual release or when the actual news is going to come out. So. Again, doesn't really change too much, but it's nice that they would like to be, they would like to be more transparent. I think that's great, right? But I don't think it really is as much change as what they are kind of saying or making it out to be. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, so that's it. Again, like I said, news-wise, we're not really, markets are not really being dominated by much. As you can see, again, obviously yesterday, the big thing was, with the VIX was just, oh God, what's happening this weekend? We're sending more dignitaries over there to have tea parties of Taiwan. Like, what the heck? And again, because nothing really came of it, we didn't really hear much. It dropped back down again, and now we've just been holding firm. So technically, the VIX is up just a little bit from where it closed, but I wouldn't say it's really trending. And again, you're seeing the indices kind of split right now on everything. Biggest mover is natural gas. That's, we'll cover that one later. But jumping in the awesome, you can see this one is down 0.10. We talked about being the target down here at 69.85. Yesterday morning, we were sitting right here. And you can see the peak was just right before this, right here, the 1030 reversal. And again, if you had boxed off this 1030 reversal, which you absolutely could, right? You can see you got two great entries. One came in late last night, and one came in right before the European Open happened. So I think this actually may have been whoops. Wait, I was like, wait, where did it go? This may have actually been a fib line too. Yeah, it was right around the 23. Well, not when it was down here, but you can see here was the first reversal, and it kind of helped establish it. And then when it dropped lower, it was close enough, right? So again, you guys could have traded that one as a 23 pullback within a supply zone as well. But again, nice little trade if you guys did take this one late last night. And again, we knew that there was, going to be Aussie news last night, right? Right here, monetary policy meeting notes at 9:30 p.m. And you can see that is right here. Okay, right here. So again, easy news trade. You guys should have known about that one well in advance. Had driven itself back up again. Again, right before the news, shot straight up in, grabbed it, turned and rolled. And now it's just kind of stabilizing. So, yeah, at this point, I would still, I'd say, listen, we got to wait till we really get down to here, the 69.73. And up top, there's a few different levels we could kind of push off. Probably here, but like I said, this is a bit of a racetrack. We had a base, we've had one touch again, and there's not a lot. There's a little bit in there, but I think we could have, if we break through the top of that one, I think that's, keep that on your radar. Set an alert if you guys know how to do it. 70.45. Look for a break above on that one. All right. Aussie yen. So obviously, like all the yen pairs, right? 189, 205. Obviously, this one is taking off. We talked about getting a Harry Potter, and we said if we got some basing down here at 93.20, we're looking for a break. Obviously, when it's one candle down, one candle back up, not a Harry Potter. One candle down, one candle up, not a Harry Potter. Now, there was a short here, and again, this one kicked in at about noon yesterday. That's easy to see. A drop, a pullback, a base, and then a big push down again. So you could have actually taken that short. And that was right around 11:30, 12 o'clock-ish, right? A little noontime trade. And then again, number 3, Actually, 1, 2, and 3, and then we based in it for number 4. Unfortunately, it didn't give us the pullback on it. And then it came up and it based right on the 50, and now it's coming up and it's starting to base right on the 61.8. So I would expect we're probably going to see a bit of a reversal here at some point as this one turns and rolls. Obviously, that was the kind of the cleanest one, and we love the ascending wicks on that one. Again, strong move down, up, base, strong move down, and then bam, nice little trigger, and that was a good runner if you guys were able to grab that one. And again, Aussie, we know what happened last night with the Aussie. I just showed it to you, right? What are the birds doing over there? But again, it's about a 60, 70 pip run to the downside. And then we hit over here as last night, and we saw a push back down again. The birds are I have such entitled birds. They're like, no, I don't want, I get them like different mixes depending on what the store has. Well, there's a little tiny brown seed that they don't like in this one. So they literally will dump all their stuff out when it's too much brown seeds. Like I come in the morning, it's just nothing but brown seeds. They pull all the other stuff out. And they love sunflower seeds. They're junkies. They're addicted. But they're literally like pissed off because there's not enough sunflower seeds in this mix now. Anyway, look for a reversal in this one. I think it's going to be basically the same call with Aussie yen, Euro yen, pound yen. But again, some nice play off that one, and that's a pretty easy grab there to the downside. Now, euro dollar. Euro dollar actually did push. Now, you can see here at base, and we talked about 101.61 being a big level, that we were looking for a potential reversal. We never really even got a confirmation. It kind of hit it, kind of stayed and pushed lower, and then push, and then kind of base on the same spot, and then push lower. It's like, wow, you're stabbing. This sucker's not holding. And you can see it popped up, and then boom, it collapsed through, and now it's rallying back again. So again, the original part of this one that made it hard was this kind of spike through. We knew that there was going to be issues there, and really kind of finding it. And again, that was the old zone where we touch, and then when it blew through, again, not the highest quality in there, but we were looking for some type of reversal. And it looks like it came down, and about, let's see, 530 is right there. You can see the 530 missed the bottom just by a little bit, and it actually didn't even hit the level. We were talking about 101.16 as being the level and the 61.8 kind of coming into play. It didn't really kind of factor out. So, again, had those issues at the 50, and again, being that it was super, kind of early evening, late evening, way before either session was really open again, they were able to kind of finally chop through it. And again, now it's clear. So again, we know that it's clear. If we run this down, you can see right now that really the 23.6 doesn't really kind of go into anything. We're at an area right now of basing. And again, we're seeing kind of dollar weakness come in right now. This is euro strength, dollar weakness. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a roll sometime today. Again, a lot of it is probably preparing for tomorrow. But right now, a lot of the things for fibs don't really even line up. The 78.6 is an old level that we had before where it was violated, right? It based, pulled back, based again, hit it again, base, and then Harry Pottered it down. So the 78.6 is near a level. The 61.8, there's a level here that is confirmed, so I feel like we got to kind of leave that on there. But understand there's one right above it as well, and it's a great kind of draw, and it now kind of goes right through the 61.8. Looking where the 50 is, yeah, there's a little bit of hiccups there, but it's not as clean as the level up here at 102.57. So it's close. And remember, people will enter on the 50 and get out at the 61.8. 23.6. Not a whole lot there. Doesn't mean that it can't turn and reverse off of that, particularly around 10:30 today. News-wise, I don't think we have anything minor. I guess industrial production helped a little bit. Now, there's not even really anything coming in at 10:30 for a reversal. So, I don't know. Could be an area. But like I said, I'd much rather prefer a little bit farther up back in the 102.40-ish range. Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get much more out of that one. I think we're going to have to find something else to trade than that one. So, but that's where we're looking at. And again, we still didn't get to the 61.8. That level is still live, the 101.17. Euro pound. So, again, remember, we drew this one yesterday. It is taking the downward path. It kind of went up a little bit from where we were, and then is now continuing to push lower. Now, there's a zone right here, right? We do know that there's a zone down here, and again, we had a kind of a Harry Potter set here, but we were waiting for this data. And again, this is that core inflation, and all that comes in tomorrow morning. Let's take this off. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Right here. This CPI year over year being 9.8. They're starting to change it already. They're starting to adjust it, saying it's not as bad. But again, coming down this direction here, right? This is showing pound strength now, but yet it's pound strength. We're talking about recession, and this figure is 0.1 less than it was yesterday. When I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, is the market preparing to give us again, remember, if the inflation is not nearly as high as they thought, there's less reason for them to actually increase the rate, right? They may be able to do a pause, which would be considered a pound weakness type fundamental release. With it pushing down right, this is a pound strength. We know that we have, again, buyers in that area. That's how we kind of drew it yesterday, saying, hey, listen, if we can get over to here, this could be a nice little pop. Again, we do have the Harry Potter setup, and that's just a standard setup for what we normally do. But again, remember, for news time, you got to look for levels. And yes, there are sellers here. They've touched here, touched here. It's a number 3. They got front run here. We grind back down again, and we got about, again, before we get in there, we got about 20 pips. So again, if we start to stabilize and start to retrace from that European, and again, here's the European session open right there. You can see the Europeans that basically just sent this back down again, right? So again, profit taking from the European session should provide a little bit of a bounce and maybe stabilizing itself on this level. That could be where we pop tomorrow. So again, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Actually, I guess later tonight, because it is a 2 a.m. release. So remember, it's not all the way over here in the morning time. It's got what, like 14 hours to go, right? So again, not tremendous amounts of time. So look at that one. Could be a nice pop. As well as if this starts to go up, right? Again, that could help kind of accelerate this one a little bit more too. So anyway, right now, let's see. What did I want to draw this one on? Let's pull that guy off. So we did have a little position in here, and it looks like this one got sliced through. Yeah, 4 o'clock came in. It ended up tagging it right around 6 o'clock this morning. So anyway, actually, I'll draw it from up top. This is what we're looking like fib-wise right now. I would say the 61.8 level is pretty interesting, particularly because, again, we basically had straight up at this point. We're there right now. This one, obviously, again, if you take it, you got stopped out, which, again, it's happened. I don't really, again, I'm not claiming I'm right 100% of the time, nor can anybody else out there. But it is an interesting level that we have the 61.8 sitting right there. So, again, it's 9:53. We've been basically straight up. European session started right there. Right? There's your European session start. So basically straight up. Hasn't had really the opportunity for any profit taking yet. So again, there could be a turn and roll rather soon. I do have this one up here. Let me see. Let me pull this. Forex. Euro yen. Let's see. The top of that is 08. Yes. All right, so reason why I'm looking at this one is there's actually a knockout. Actually, there's 2 knockouts here. One of them is actually pretty close. There's a knockout that's sitting at there's a 136.95. I feel like that one's just a little bit close, right? That one's a little bit close. It's kind of that would be the proximal side of this one. I'm looking for more the distal side. The 110 is just really here. I'll put it on here. 110 is right there. So it's literally sitting right on the outside. So if you're looking to get into a knockout and you like that, again, if we can kind of maintain the next little bit here, again, there could be an entry in that one. And even right now, I mean, it's only about $25 worth of risk. It's not a huge one. It's only got $50 maximum profit in the other direction. It's not one of the large ones. Let's see. The 25 one is too far. So yeah, kind of what we're looking for that one, knockout wise. And then let's see. Oh, yeah, we're not even close. Nope, not even close. Daily wise, I don't think daily wise we're gonna get enough out of this one. Is there a daily in this? No, nothing there. So yeah, that's about the only thing for this one. Like I said, we kind of need to maintain. And again, if you want to take this on kind of a, I don't want to say safer because there's always risk in it, right? But a little bit more certainty is as this comes up in a level, don't buy it on like a number 1 entry, buy it on a number 3 entry. Wait for it to come up and then see if we can get a red, a green, and a red. And as soon as we can break below and get that last close, that would be the reversal to come back down again. Again, it may go just above it, stop that knockout out, and then turn and roll. catch it once it gives you that reversal, but be looking out for this one to give us a red, green, red. Okay. Pound dollar. So pound dollar. Again, we marked this one off for news. We knew we had a level sitting here, buyers. And again, this one was a little iffy because they had pushed them to the brink and ended up hitting and kind of establishing and then popping back off of it. So right now, that's what we're looking at. You can see that the 23.6 has been blown through. This one missed the European. Kind of funny. Actually, I'll just drag this over. There is your 530 reversal candle, right? Kind of a weird one in the fact that it started low, drove up, pushed back down again, and then all of a sudden it hit its reversal and then took off. So it was technically a true reversal, but kind of a fake out because it was 3 o'clock, was like straight up, and then it rolled back down again, and then boom, took off. So not the ideal reversal pattern that we're looking for. But again, this was a level we talked about yesterday being a zone to watch out for. With that driving down here too, that's 2 big strikes in there. The 78.6 is next, so I'm going to pull this one off just to keep the charts fast. Let's pull that across. Look at this. Hit. And we're like, yep, not using this one. And then look at this. Base. Boom. All the way down. So we're going to pull that off now. So I'd say watch the 61.8 on this one, the 28 right here. You can see a drop at base and then a strong push down. But there's also now the way that it lined up, you can see there's a bunch of basing right there. And it may actually be, the level actually may be hiding right there, right? So I'd say there's 2 of them, depending on if you're aggressive. And look, there's the drop, that pullback, and then the push down, and then test. 3 small tests. But that's where the 50% is. So, yeah, if we can go up, right now on this one, I kind of like want it to go over here. I want it to be a slow grind up. If we can get that slow grind up, I'd like this one short. Again, that's pound weakness. With them kind of pulling back the forecast right now, I feel like this one has the ability to kind of not be as bad as they think it is. Maybe we're already going into their session there. I feel like that gives us a great pound short opportunity, and that would, again, driving straight up, that's kind of what we want. Question is, how much is it going to go? 60 pips in like 14 hours, something like that? That could happen. Wouldn't be the worst, right? Wouldn't be the worst. Yeah, so could be. But again, bounce off a level that we talked about yesterday. So, yeah, I don't really like a reversal here. I really wanted to go just grind through. I kind of wanted to not do a reversal today, and I kind of wanted to grind up because I like that trade much better. Yeah, we're talking like 15 pips. That's not bad. And I think, let me see. Let's see. That was it right at the peak. Hold on one sec. 30. Top side of that one. This one. Yeah. So here is where. There's where the top of a knockout is. So this is another one of those ones that I had starred. Again, if we're able to rally back up into that area, it is a 50% retracement. There is, on the distal side, there is a ceiling of a knockout. So this could be one of those ones that if we can not reverse now, if we can make it towards the end of the day, when those contracts start to reset or end of day, again, getting in ahead of kind of the overnight session could be interesting, you know? And again, with a knockout, you're not going to have as much premium in there. So a little something set up there. Pound yen, again, blowing through everything, right? So we had the short yesterday. That one came through. We talked about, again, the full target being 160. You can see we missed by 160 just by a little bit. We got to a 160.09, which, again, on the pound yen is not bad. So you can see Harry Potter down. This is out. And again, it based over here, but we're going to pull it off. We don't need it. So right now, you can see we didn't even slow at this level, right? 8:30 in the morning, we drove right through it, but then we based on the top of it. So yes, it used those orders to kind of catapult higher. We are in the top area, so kind of the same thinking as the Aussie yen, Euro yen. It's like, man, you're kind of right in areas where there are reversals there. Let's see. You can see we're right there as well. Again, 61.8 reversal, and this one again. Kind of turning right there. So Aussie yen, Euro yen, and pound yen, all kind of up in levels. Now, again, this is not a 61.8 or anything like that. This is not a fib-based one, but if the yen does turn and roll, it will also catapult over here. So let's pull this off now. We'll just use that as a target to the downside. Actually, this should be there. Again, look, 1, 2. All right, let's see. 82. They're so close. There's an 80 right there. There's one right there. So it's like, like right now it's $25 worth of risk for 67 in the other direction. And it doesn't have to move that far. It has to go down to 61. It goes down to what, 61.80? Yeah, 61.80. I got close. 61.80 right there. That's where it's got to go. So you can see not really that big of a reversal on it. So, but yeah, just 3 different things in the same position. Also around 10, little early, but yeah, basically the same story. Actually, let's pull this down. Yeah, so close. You see, it's already starting to pull back from that. So yeah, just a couple different things out there. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD is finally broken through, and this is one of those ones that you gotta hate. It pushed through and then based right below the zone and then pulled up. You're like, oh, it's doing it. And then it continued to push lower. So we were talking about a break. And again, if we had to pick more of a near-term side of things, I don't think this one is over. If we wanted to kind of shrink that down, we can say, hey, listen, this captures this area, and this area all in one. We can adjust this a little bit. If we get any type of a pullback, yeah, I think there could be a roll in this. Technically, today's data was strong CAD, and we called for a break and a push to the downside. So, there's a couple ways they get in. Again, here's the European session open. It put a new high in, and then, again, reverse back. Red, green, red, and then boom, pulled back and touched and ran. And again, we already had sellers there and we knew it at the zone. So again, a little bit too late to get into this one already. If it does pull back to that zone and that zone starts here at 128.89, you can always wait for the pullback and then, grab it and grab it and go, right? Grab it and go. Profit target wise on this one, if you guys are going to get short, make sure that you are out really in this range right here. That's pretty close. Oh, look at that. I missed it by 3 fractions, 3 pipettes. Right there. That's where your overall target needs to be. But the 1 to 3 is sitting down at 128.48. And I think, hold on, I got a note for this one too. Where is it? Yeah, so this one was an interesting setup. This one has a knockout literally sitting right there, right? So again, in either of these two, you could have tried to get into something small in that one if you wanted to front run it. So not horribly bad, right, in that. And then there's actually another one sitting, where is it? Right. I don't have any idea who that is. Charleston? Don't know who that is. Nope, not taking that one. What is this person saying? Oh, okay, he's not mad. Yeah, every day there's something new across. I had a parent message last night, like, how many kids are we taking on this team? I'm like, yes, I know, I am aware that we have more than we like, right? But I had to make a special exception. I took 3 of the kids or 4 of the kids in the neighborhood, and they brought this kid out with them. I have too much of a heart to be able to say, hey, listen, all your friends are good. You're not, sorry. He's a little bit behind the other kids, but it's like, I just basically killed his other team. They don't have enough kids, so they are folding. So if I don't take this kid, he has no home. So it's like, yes, I know that we have a couple extra kids. I got it. I like to carry this many into tournaments because they play, potentially 3 games in 100 heat. I was like, but I know we haven't even started. I was like, but yes, I am aware that we have more kids than we technically want. And then it gives me like anxiety. I'm like, I get it. You're like, oh, this is my son's playtime. I'm like, well, your son just needs to play harder and then he'll get more playtime. And kids that don't work as hard don't get as much playtime. What do you want? But yeah, see what happens when you have a heart. If I was just heartless, then I would just be like, sorry, kid's not good enough. Sorry, only taking 21. So, yeah. But anyway, number 2, where is it? What is it? 28.95. 28.95. There's also a knockout sitting right there. So if you want to get something a little bit cheap too, if this does pull back up again, you may be able to snag a little cheap one in there instead of taking this one. So today is one of those days. It doesn't happen all the time. Today is one of those days where a lot of the knockout ceilings actually make sense. I'd like for them to be a couple more pips in the other direction, but unfortunately, again, if we can get it within one or two, then I'm okay with that. Be better if it was a little farther, but yeah, you guys feel me. Anyway, here again, nice little level, and look at this. Look at the way that it chopped through this level, right? Look at the way that it chopped through this. It hit it, pulled back, hit it, right? Came up, slammed down, came up, started at base, and then went over and then grabbed it. So it did use the 50, and I think we mentioned this yesterday that there was a zone sitting right there, and that's what we hit off of. I would say that this would have been more of a target. I know it's a 50. I know there's a supply zone sitting there. I know we got some confirmation off of it, but I just don't feel like you want to get through. You don't want to play with the momentum on this one, particularly because, yes, technically it's a short signal. It's a 50, and there's two things there. But we had this basing level, and it was violated. It showed us that there was people there. Then it based in there. Then it pulled back. It's like, there's just definitely not enough room here. For a short, we know we're most likely going to have buyers in here, and that was the case. We came down, and we went back up again, and we actually went higher. And then we came down again, and now we're kind of drive. In the U.S. session, it's like, kind of risky, right? Kind of risky. So as much as I like that one on a technical basis, I don't like the fact that this zone is right here, right? This orange zone right here is very risky in my eyes. Right, because again, if this is our entry, one of the first things we need to do is make sure that we, risking one, it can move at least three. It can move just barely one. So, kind of one of those things that we need to be careful with. Wait, what? I don't know why these. All right. Yeah, this was a dad that took him days to join us, but anyway. All right, so yesterday we mentioned the dollar yen. We talked about a level here, and I had this one marked off. I was like, this one is in yellow. I guess if you're really aggressive, take it, but I didn't really like the way that it formed. It had already been up there one time, and I said be very cautious with it, and that's why it's in yellow, not in red. And you can see that it went up and it started to base right before the level. You're like, oh, that's not what we're looking for, right? So again, this is why we didn't put it as a trigger. We knew that we had a racetrack scenario afterwards. Unfortunately, it never pulled back and gave us the entry. It just took off, and profit target wise would be sitting right here. So it was a little bit shy of a profit target. And again, it's some profit taking. I mean, here is where the European session started. There's the 3 o'clock candle. So it's basically done one thing: is go straight up. We would expect a bit of a pullback right now as we push back to the 135. And again, there's a zone sitting up there it's quite a broad zone. So just, again, be cautious with it. And again, maybe you want to even refine it down and just say, well, wait a second, there's that more of aggressive zone sitting right there, right? That's in the orange right now. Again, that's kind of where the sellers were last time. I'd say wait for this one to extend just a little bit farther up. This is going to be an interesting play for tomorrow. Again, we're seeing massive yen weakness on everything, but Aussie yen starting to reverse. Euro yen starting to reverse. Pound yen starting to reverse off that level. So what do you expect the dollar yen to be doing? Also reversing off the level. So it's kind of all in the same scenario. It is a reversal of the yen right now. Whether that continues throughout the day, yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Actually, is there one in this one? I don't have a note on this one, but let me check it real quick. Yeah, there is one. There is one. There's actually, believe it or not, there's a knockout sitting right there. What did I say? It's 99. There's a knockout right there. So it's kind of like if it pulled up into this profit level with the 135 right there, it's like, yeah, it's close. It is close. So, yeah. And actually, there's a couple of good ones, but remember, the knockouts are smaller, right? They're small trades, so not hard. But let's see, what are the other ones in here? It did just roll off of one too. Where the heck is that one at? Oh, that annoys me. It's kind of funny. Did it get stopped out? I don't know why it's not showing them. So I have missing brackets. 54.39. It should be there, but it's not there. Nice. You go Nadex. Go Nadex. Yeah, it's only showing 2 knockouts. It's so weird. No idea why that's happening, but okay. Guess they're having some technical difficulties. Yeah. Anyway, crypto's pulling back a little bit, and again, we're starting to see the grind down on this one. I didn't catch Waller's comments yesterday, but we know that regulation is coming in some type of a matter, and they're all doing the same thing. Again, Ethereum also dropped and is doing the same kind of jump. Doji a little bit different, and again, if there's this much comment, Mark Cuban tweeted. Oh no, that was April. So I don't know. Somebody must have talked because this looks exactly like this, and then all of a sudden you get this. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is an old one, but I'm pretty sure this is probably did Elon say anything again? I feel like Elon must have said something. So very currency. I feel like if this is the top thing for crypto, I feel like Elon said something again. Maybe. It's kind of the only way it can jump that much, right? Anyway, crude. So crude yesterday, we talked about this driving back up again. And again, here's your 9:30 mark yesterday morning. And we kind of pulled up and then continued its push. I missed it by a little bit, right? I missed it by, how much did I miss it by? 25 cents. Not too bad, right? $90 asset. I missed it by 25 cents where I drew my arrow on its push. I think this one has the ability to come back up again. As you can see, it's already hit kind of one time, but I think if we get back up to that 50%, this is such an easy draw from high to low. I think people will be looking at that area, and we already have some confirmed sellers. It was an area, right, of buyers of support, right? Boom, 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 boom. Number 4 hits. It came through and then used it as a top. Haven't tested it again, but I think we start looking in the 91.12-ish area, 91.15-ish area. For a bit of a potential reversal if we get up there. Right now, again, we already know we have buyers at 86.18. That's where we were yesterday morning. We talked about this surge, and I mentioned I kind of feel like this is going up from here. This is a little bit on the low side, and we did. We rallied, $4 up, but we didn't get back up to a sell area, and we knew we didn't have any areas of sellers in here. So again, 91.15, 86.89 again. We're kind of smack dead in the middle right now, kind of at a 50% between those two levels. So kind of hard to really do much on that one to kind of set it up right now. Now, natural gas we took off. So now we did end up hitting that level at $8.89. And then again, it drove back down again and really used this old level that hit, and then took off. It did this basing and then based again. So I was looking at this and I'm like, kind of one of those trades you're looking at, you're like, I have a very hard time being able to say, yeah, you should definitely get short in this one. Because I feel like this is just one geopolitical headline of bursting. And I mentioned that yesterday too. We were looking at a target down here, but yeah, right now, I mean, $9.30. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any headlines on this one, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. Let's see. Could they? They could. Doesn't mean they will. Growth worries. Yeah. There'll be solidarity and energy. Yeah. There will be solidarity when there are energy supply shortages. I love this. No, there'll be riots, not solidarity. Yeah, I mean, this is wishful thinking. But if one country has natural gas, they're not going to make their citizens be cold to send it to Germany. So, and I guess, I mean, if it comes down to it, I mean, remember, this is politics, right? If you are the chancellor of a nation and you have the ability to get natural gas from Russia and your people are out of natural gas and they're starting to freeze, you are going to buy it you're going to buy it. You know, everybody's not going to freeze and be like, yeah. And if so, then again, that kind of goes back to the, you can take the moral high ground, but then don't complain if you were cold. So I guess. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I would probably say look for somewhat of a reversal in natural gas. In about 15 minutes, we're going to have a close here, and that would give us a red, green, red reversal back again. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and kind of settles on that $9 mark, and then maybe even kind of test to see if we can go lower again. But just be cautious with it. And again, that $9 mark also happens to be where there's a base, the 23.6, and a test of that base, right? The little Harry Potter, the base, right? Pull back and go, and we have a base in there. So watch that level. I think $9 is probably the target today, downside wise, and we'll see if we get any additional headlines. All right, gold is getting ugly. Look at this. super, super ugly. And again, not much you can do with it. Hold on. Okay. All right, just making sure. Okay. All right. So I would say right now gold is more in a buying area on a technical basis from high to low. You're going to see that there's a whole lot of basing and a takeoff point as well as a confirmation here at the 23.6. We tagged that first bit yesterday morning and kind of pulled up and then didn't really do much. Like the peak yesterday, actually the peak was kind of sitting right here. So not even much of a reversal. There's just not much you can do with that. And we came down and the same buyer stepped in. Now these buyers are probably getting really, really low at this point. But the question is, are you really going to do much with this? And, you know, I think it's important to kind of set us up for tomorrow. But remember, you know, the retail sales number, extremely important. It's going to be a puzzle piece. But then the FOMC meeting notes is where, again, is retail sales going to be enough of a move to kind of change? I mean, they already know. These notes are already written. They already got all these notes, and they don't have this data yet, or the data's not released. They know what it is already. So I would say, if anything, the way that I'm looking at this right now, I mean, retail sales is picked to be negative. I know the Fed has said they're not slowing down, and yesterday there was comments. Originally, the consensus was at the end of 2023 that there was going to be a rate cut, right? Because remember, they're trying to put the interest rate higher, so it slows everything down, and then they got to pull it back again. Yesterday, there was comments that may not be the case, that they are not, you know, they are not considering or not forecasting the need to have to cut at the end of next year. So that has probably moved things around a little bit, and that's probably why we're seeing the downward pressure. Now, with it holding low, though, right, if this comes in and say this is more negative, if core retail sales is -2 or -3, right, a little bit more than this, you know, or -0.2 or 0.3 lower, right? And even the retail sales, what if this number comes up negative? They're both negative in there. Until the meeting note happens, that should be more of a kind of a bursting point for gold. And you may say, well, why? I mean, if we're not buying anything, yeah, because if we're not buying anything, that shows we're a little bit farther into a recession, which means they're not going to be as likely to be as hawkish with the interest rates, which gives us a gold buying opportunity. So again, is there a wonderful area to buy it from? Not really. Too much basing. Yeah, the 23.6 helps. It's already hit it once, and then again, you see this. I mean, look at this. Lower, 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 lower. I mean, it's almost starting to form a downward channel at this point. And if we don't cut through it sideways, I feel like this could go much lower, down into the 1760. So be very, very cautious with gold. And again, gold's only down 0.19. It's not really down a lot. Silver, yes, silver is double what it should be. But silver is kind of the same scenario. We talked about 20 being the target, and you can see yesterday at 8:30 we hit the target, it bounced up, and it's doing the same type of grinding down. And you know, you could almost draw a channel on this one as well, right? Down, lower, 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 right? We are starting to rally through it right now, but you know, if you look to see what the Europeans did with it, I mean, the Europeans started with it here and did nothing but, I don't know why I have such a hard time with the arrows, right? There's where the Europeans started. They did nothing but send it down. It rolled into the U.S. session, and now it's kind of coming back again, right? The profit taking is coming in. So is there a big trajectory? Not so much. We knew we had a target. We knew that 20 was going to be a big number. In fact, it went all the way down to 1980. But at this point, with it being as low as it is, I think if we have the ability to break through this trend line and really kind of stabilize ourselves, and again, there's a couple areas, but nothing that I'm really in love with there. Do I need this anymore? No, I can pull that off now. This level, again, you can see it was over here. We'll hold that one for right now. Let's draw another one up top. I really want to draw one there, but at the same time, I don't. I'd like to see what silver does, because I think silver could be an interesting play for tomorrow too. Yeah, so see how this one reacts tomorrow in the European session. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we have some type of a pattern similar to this, where it's European down and then U.S. session straight up again. Again, the retail sales number is definitely going to come into play tomorrow with that one. But I want to see where they do it in the off hours. Like I said, gold is going to be more where the actual large money goes. Silver is going to be where, you know, the smaller accounts go. It should be twice as volatile. It should have twice the movement, but gold should be giving us the telltale sign tomorrow morning of where it's going to move. All right. Let's check these guys out. Look at this. Twitter not doing much, holding firm on the top side. Obviously, it's still in a level and having some issues. Actually, Twitter looks like it could be more of a, well, you know, we've hit it 3 or 4 times. So we've been really trying to push through that 44.50 number. I want to kind of see if we can get a red-green. Unfortunately, there is a little tiny bit of buying right here in Twitter. And then we have a big jump down all the way down to, 42.80 or 42.90. So I feel like this one is, again, having this kind of failure to go higher kind of could be a telltale sign it's dropping more. Apple, yeah, look at Apple. Apple got stuck up and then just started to push down again. It will find some buyers somewhere in here. It looks like it's trying to find them right now, but kind of the same thing. Apple looks like it's probably on more of a negative ride today. And Tesla, kind of the same thing. Look, we kind of pushed down and then we kind of gapped up after the break and they had an initial spike and then boom, it just started to head to the downside. So yeah, I mean, a few levels. There's a few levels lower with it, but it's the weakest of those 3. So again, let's check VIX. Again, it's not really, yes, it's up 1, but it's not really, I wouldn't say it's doing anything. Tesla is doing a 3-1 split at the end of the month. Okay. Yeah. So as you're saying that, it's starting to deteriorate even more. Yeah. End of the month, meaning, what's the date that they're doing that? Because they don't, it's right here, right? Yeah, split, 3-1 split. So 22nd. Oh, so just a week. It's a week, next week. So yeah, so there you go. That's what's going to add to it. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, 25th, not the 22nd. That is the year. Yeah, 25th. Yep, my bad. Yep. So yeah, a week and a few days. All right, that's coming too. All right, let's check ES. So yesterday, if you guys remember yesterday, we talked about how we had one entry, but it got stopped out, which again, going to happen. Totally cool with it. I don't really care. 2 other ones that if you were a bit more aggressive, you could have taken the entries and then you would have made profit on them, on both of them. If you're looking at kind of where we are right now, I would say, is there any type of trend in the overnight? Answer is not really. The 930 candle is right here. Is it in a level? Sure, it is. You could say that, hey, listen, here's our overnight lows, right? And that's what we pushed into. The 9 o'clock, actually, where is it? Actually, the 9 o'clock drove it. Actually, it did nothing at 9 o'clock. There's the 9 o'clock. There's the 9:15. So it was the 8:15 that drove it back into the level. In looking at this, after it's been down here really 3 times, here, 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 and here, not the strongest buy area. And at the same time, you have this level right here, which again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, is this a setup? Answer is no, it wasn't. You wouldn't have taken it. And again, is it going to be a setup every single morning? Nope. So it looks like this week is not a great week for it. Like I said, yesterday probably only took 1 or 2. Again, starting off today, not so much. There's no trend. And again, because we have FOMC, it is August. This is a huge vacation week. Some kids are starting school. I know Texas, you guys have some people starting school. There's no trend, right? We kind of need a trend to be able to kind of take advantage of the opening print. And again, the opening print is not there. So not much you're going to be able to do about it. Right, so unfortunately, 0 for 1 as far as opening print setups. And again, this is why it's important to have multiple strategies. Again, if you guys want to do this the right way, you could do opening print, you could do 5:30 and 10:30 reversals. I mean, technically, you could do 3 a.m., 9:30 if you want to do both markets, and then 5:30, 10:30, and basically trade for an hour a day, and that's it. NQ. So NQ, let's see what we got here. NQ's 930 was here. So NQ is not in a range. It did pull back at 930, but I wouldn't say, I mean, it started 930 there. See, here's the problem with this one. All right. So you can say, yes, here's your overnight basing level, right? It's already tested it at 845 and then kind of pulled back up again. So it was starting here. Was it kind of in a level? Yeah, but it was already tested pretty deeply in that level. So is it a great buy? Not really, right? Not really. So again, this would not have been an entry either. And it's a great short. Right, it was a great short, but no real sign of, I mean, I guess it did this, right? It did come down, right? It did pull back, and then it did collapse. Let's see, on a 5-minute, could we see anything? I'm trying to stretch this one here. No. You can see that hit early 8:45. So yeah, it did not qualify because it was already driving down. So yeah, it didn't even make it back up to the basing. So even if we dropped the low time frame, I mean, the distance is right. Yeah, you could have taken it off this top section at about 8:15 this morning. But it doesn't meet the actual rules for just the opening print on that one. But again, I think it's an area right now. I think this one has the potential for some type of reversal. At 10:25, right? There's where you expect buyers to step in right here. We're kind of getting there right now, as well as there's another backstop just a little bit lower than that. So I would say, it is the weakest, but and say that if there's going to be a reversal today, this is in kind of the area where we would expect to see some type of reversal. So it's coming in, but again, opening print wise, no. YM. All right, so 9. This one was better. Now this one you could have taken it because again, we didn't have this push wasn't from the original zone. You could have said, well, wait a second, there's the zone, but see how it kind of went down. And you could say, all right, well, there's our new zone, right? That was our 6:30 to, again, this is where we tend to see the zone. It did pull back and it did maintain from 8:30 to 9 to 9:15. So I would say that this one, this would have been a qualification. Again, because this came down and based. It wasn't just a touch of the original. It actually broke through it, based and established, and then had a decent pop off again. So this drop base rally, those are pretty nice. So this one, let's see. I'm sure it's out at this point. 1 to 3 being right there. Yeah, it's well past. So far we're 1 for 3 as far as entries go, right? And 1 for 1 on full profit targets. Okay. This one is also at an area where it's kind of like, this looks like it's gonna, potential reversal. Let's see that. I don't need that one anymore either. Pull some of these old ones off. Yeah, it's kind of in the zone. So one thing about 15-minute charts. It's harder to go back in time. And there you go. So yep, that would have been your target. Yep. So in your long, you would have been able to run this one up to here. So, yep, but you're officially out. It is past. So it looks like that when you could have ran this one to a 1 to 4.5, right? But there's your 1 to 3 off the opening print. So there you go. 1 for 3 as far as entries go. 1 for 1 as far as profit targets. Yeah, this is a hard one too. 8:45. Yeah, there's no movement here at all. Was not in a zone. It did pull back to the zone, which is always frustrating, right? I guess we'll do it there. It did pull back to it, but it was already, after this 8:45 one, opening print was over here. It was already through. If anything, I would say that this one was more set up for a short than a long. Of all of them, though, the only one I really would have pulled the trigger on is YM. This one you could have gotten short from it as well. But a little sketchy, though, because you do have this, right? You do got to look for zones like that, and it's probably what turned that one, and you can see the racetrack. So, I'd say right now, Is that a 2000? Yeah, it's a 2000. Yeah, it's right there. I would say look for 2000 today. Like I said, pretty deep into the trade. Would not have been an opening print setup, although if you had traded it the right way, you would have been taking a short because it was already beyond and past, and it pulled up to that old break. And again, standard Harry Potter trade, right? Levels of basing, look for the break and the pullback came at the open. Probably see it on a 5-minute. Yeah, see right there? We hit it, came back. It opened here. Here's 930, and came back and grabbed that old level. So, same technical trading, but I wouldn't have pulled the trigger on this one. You could have, right? You could have, and you would have been, not getting yelled at by me. But yeah, it's there. All right, so that's it as far as Russell goes. That's kind of it. Like I said, we kind of went a little bit quick today, although it is 10:30 right now. Factory output orders, yeah, it's fine. right? I think the big one is going to be kind of what we see later on today. I think this Aussie one should be decent. New Zealand should be decent as well. And then as far as, tomorrow morning, I think if you can get something late tonight, I think the CPI year-over-year number is going to be good. The way that it's looking right now, looks like it's coming in a little bit weaker, right? Could be one of those, I don't want to say surprises, but could be one of those things that throws a decent surprise out there. And then obviously FOMC tomorrow, but we'll talk between then and now. So, all right, with that said, let's go ahead and do the drawing. Marina won yesterday. What do we got? No breaks today. I will make sure not to hit the refund button today, guys. So Marina's going for 100. Everybody else is going for 25. Let's go ahead and close it down. Winner of today's drawing. And see, it's not, I don't even know why I clicked it, but winner of today's drawing is... Marina's only going with one. That's her strategy. It is Eki. Look at that. Eki takes it today. Let's go over the leaderboard here. Let's give Eki his 25. There we go. All right. So with that said, I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. We'll be back on at 9:30. We will see how that data looks tomorrow morning. And again, don't forget, Aussie has had some really nice setups. Last night there was great setups off the Aussie. Again, New Zealand does have a bit of a proxy into the Aussie. So again, don't sleep on this one tonight, right? Between Aussie at 9:30, this wage price index, again, this could be a big tanker, right, for the Aussie dollar, as well as the New Zealand, depending on what they say, would have some carryover as well. Or just trade it straight in New Zealand. So again, good data releases tonight. So with that said, look at this, 224. Everything's starting to flatten out in reverse, except the yen. And again, look at the yen. The yen was at 200 when we started. We're really starting to deteriorate there on the downside. So not that one wasn't broken before, but that knockout is still up on my other screen. It's only printing one right now, so you can't see it. Go Nadex. So, all right, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good trading day. Need anything, shoot me a message on Discord. Take care.